Hello, everyone. I'm sure the past month of the lockdown has awakened a lot many of our senses to the realities of life. The time spent by ourselves wakens our intuitions as they get more heightened now. To impress upon this, I have some things more to tell you today because the new moon of April holds a lot of significance in our lives. This is all about the new moon which came in yesterday night and will be very visible today by 7:55 p.m. this evening. It's known as the new moon, April 22nd, 2020, and given the name of the tragic moon. Now, don't get disheartened when I'm talking about the tragic moon. I just need to tell you all about this new moon so that you can better prepare yourself for the days that are going to be coming in the following month, and also for whatever feelings that are happening in and around you, or what you are feeling, or what you feel that how our energies are being used up or drained by other people as well as by your own self, because you're very susceptible to energies at this particular moment. So the Taurus new moon starting on April 22nd, 2020, which means it started yesterday, or is it today? Actually, yeah, it's starting today. The Taurus new moon starting on April 22nd, 2020 brings a sudden and unexpected change because it's joined by Uranus. The new moon of April 22nd is also in a very challenging square aspect to Saturn. So the changes could be difficult to deal with and may cause you suffering and may cause you a wee bit of sorrow too. The April 2020 new moon may be in the sign of Taurus, but in the sky it is in the horns of the ram in the constellation of Aries. This has an aggressive and impulsive influence, so it is important to be responsible, patient, cautious, and sensible. The best way to avoid tragedy from the coronavirus pandemic is to protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid taking risks at all costs. It's not worth it at all. What is the meaning of this new moon? Well, a new moon represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of another 28-day cycle. The sun is conjuncting moon and it gives an invigorating burst of energy and initiative. So, this is an excellent time for making a fresh start, turning over a new leaf, or starting your projects. And you have to be creative in starting your projects. You can also question your old habits, behaviors, and beliefs as you search for new and inventive ways to make progress. Now, this new moon is at 3 degrees 24. Taurus is conjunct with Uranus, which indicates unexpected change. On its own, the changes could be good or bad, but this new moon is also square Saturn and a hard Saturn aspects, and are the most challenging of the influences in astrology. So, this new moon is just the latest in a series of a very difficult moon phases. Reinforcing the challenging nature of this new moon, it is joined by the fixed stars that have a Mars Saturn nature. This planetary combination indicates frustration, anger, violence, cruelty, crime, loss, and disgrace, in whichever manner you may confront these. But this is basically the energies that are affecting the psyche of your body, is what is bringing forth all these frustrations and angers and irritability, and then doing things impulsively, which can be turning into violence or into cruelty, or maybe then there's a loss and disgrace. So just take care. Now, what are the new moon aspects? The new moon conjunct Uranus brings excitement, unexpected change, and rebellion. If your strong urge to break free from routine and restrictions cannot be met, actually, they will not be met also, restlessness, impatience, and nervous tension is bound to happen. So, acting impulsively and taking risks would result in unexpected and unpleasant changes that cause upsetting disruptions to your life. Aggressive reactions, accidents, and chaos are just a couple of examples. But doing nothing with this electric and spontaneous energy could also result in the same unwanted consequences. You cannot be sitting bored or cannot be cautious. You need to be creative. So be flexible and open minded to adapt to the changing conditions. Seek safer options for change and excitement on the internet, or go on the online and see how well you can create your projects or how well you can reach out to people. And trust me, when I'm getting these emails saying, now what do we do when it's a lockdown? It's not always that if you go out, can you make yourself useful to other people. You can also do it sitting at home with the kind of gadgetry we have or the technology that we have. Seek safer options for change and excitement on the internet or through new technology, science, and occult subjects like astrology too can be learnt during this time for the benefit of your self awareness. New moon squaring Saturn suggests the changes caused by the Uranus are not going to be positive ones. So, Saturn imposes restrictions and delays that make it harder to seek the Uranus freedom and the excitement you so desire. You may feel restricted or weighed down by new limitations, routines, and responsibilities. Isolation, loneliness, pessimism, and even depression are possible. You may face criticism and trouble from superiors, problems with authorities in general, and you could be facing loss and disappointment. So, the more care you take, or more careful you are, discreet you are, the better it is for you. Making progress and reaching your goals becomes increasingly difficult, but you must strive for a strong work ethic, patience, and determination to meet your responsibilities. Try not to procrastinate or become distracted. If you ignore your responsibilities during this moon phase, they come back to bite you later. So you cannot ignore your responsibilities. You cannot have reasons saying, oh, you're in a lockdown and you're protecting yourself. So therefore, I could not take care of my responsibilities. You have to find ways and means to be responsible. You have to find ways and means to actually, carry your duties. Otherwise, they are bound to come and bite you later. So the Saturn square Uranus brings sudden changes to your lifestyle, which you don't want. In fact, it also makes it harder to make changes you do want. I'll just repeat this, that definitely the Saturn square Uranus brings the sudden changes you don't want. It also makes it harder to make changes that you do want. This can be a very frustrating time of rising tension and sudden, unexpected changes. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, this new moon could bring changes in your career, loss of employment, self isolation, illnesses, hospitalizations, loss, and grief. But yet you must remember that life must carry on. Life must move on. This is the testing time of your patience, of your resilience, of how well you know yourself. So, like they say, when we are forewarned, we are actually forearmed. That is why I made an effort that I need to connect with you all. I had no time actually to, let you all know that I am giving or I am going live for this new moon. Because the moment I realized that it is of importance and my video as it is would be there, whoever gets connected can listen to it and better prepare oneself. This is not the time to resist change, nor is it the time to overreact. A well considered, methodical, patient, and step by step approach is the best. Use your higher self awareness from Uranus to change your bad habits and improve your personal hygiene. Take responsibility for vulnerable family members, friends, and your neighbors. In that order. So, what do the horns of the ram imply that the moon is getting entangled with? Well, even though the new moon, April 22nd, 2020, is in Taurus sign, but it is actually situated in the Aries constellation. This is because the constellations have moved about 30 degrees out of alignment with the signs since they were invented about 2000 years ago. So, according to the stellarium of the sky, the star chart above actually shows the new moon and Uranus in the horns of the ram. A new moon in Aries constellation makes you more self assertive and headstrong with a strong need for independence. It gives you strength and initiative, but also arrogance and impatience. So remember to listen to your advice, whether it is your sixth sense or your intuition, because intuition is of paramount importance at this time. And you must trust your intuition, your sixth sense, or whatever haunches that you feel. So remember to listen to the advice of yourself and think before rushing in. Now is the time to have confidence in yourself and give second thoughts. Write down in your journals what you're feeling. And then, probably after a couple of days, when you read back your journal, you will realize that this is the correct thing that you need to do. The fixed star, Sheraton, causes bodily injuries, unscrupulous defeat, destruction by fire, war, or earthquake. It is associated with the throat, the connection between the throat and the head and the tonsils, which we call as ENT. And that's what coronavirus attacks. It's very strange, but the psychology of the universe is actually being reflected on the earth. The closest star to the new moon is the fixed star Misaratham. With a Saturn Mars nature, it shows up more of the protective administrative quality, less of the impulsive aggressive. That means we need to be protective, we need to be administrative. These are the qualities that we have to bring for us. And even the government is taking those administrative stance. It's because they are thinking we need protection and you have to do away with your impulsive aggressiveness. So now the star Sheraton has an impulsive aggressive nature because it has the Mars and Saturn qualities. This distinction is helpful at the personal and state level for this new moon. However, both stars still have a violent nature, and danger is indicated when acting impulsively and in a foolhardy fashion. That is why the April moon is actually known as the moon tragedy. And this year, especially, it is named as a new moon tragedy. The new moon is conjunct asteroid 18 Melpomene, named after the muse of tragedy in Greek mythology. A tragedy is a very sad event or situation, especially one involving death or suffering. But all this can be taken care if you pay due diligence or if you actually protect yourself and then also protect your loved ones. So the summary of this April new moon is that the April 22nd, that is today, new moon conjunct Uranus brings sudden changes, and the square to Saturn makes them serious and unpleasant. Uranus also makes you want to be free to do your own thing when and where you please. So basically, if you see, we are all in isolation, we are all self equipped. So we need to find ways and means to keep ourselves busy. As long as we remain busy with our own creativity, trust me, you actually would take the sweat and the stress away from your life. Utilize your mind. A normal human being only utilizes one, I would say, 20th or 1/30th part of his brain. Let's at least use half of it to keep ourselves, do our own thing when and where we please. But the square to Saturn imposes restrictions. So we just can't go out anywhere where we please. We have to create that space in our area itself. So, because the moon is square to Saturn, it imposes restriction which can lead to impatience and frustration. The fixed stars in the horns of the ram have an impulsive and aggressive influence. Uranus increases this risk of acting impulsively and of shocking consequences. If you do, Saturn would make any consequences all the more difficult to deal with. So the new moon in starting from April 22nd onwards, is a very challenging, and asteroid Melpomene will bring tragedy for some because of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, with this new moon on Uranus in the horns of the ram square Saturn, it is important to be patient and careful, avoid taking risks, but also be flexible enough to adapt to changing conditions. The April 22nd new moon lasts for 4 weeks up to May 22nd, when the new moon comes again. So the caution taken now is going to benefit you all after May 22nd. Definitely it will benefit you. In fact, this is like laying the foundations for a brighter future ahead. So don't be disheartened. I am with you all the time. Now, I'll just take a couple of minutes to look into the questions, because I would go back for 5 minutes and come back again to speak about the Pluto retrograde, which is happening on 25th. One second, let me see the questions. All my love and blessings to you. There are a lot of blessings and love come my way, which I am thankful. And I wish the same for you all. Okay. I can't. One of them has said, I can't see the moon. I just need to tell you, you may not see the moon, but at the same time, the energies are sure going to reach each and every one. So it's very important for you all to know that the moon is there in the sky, and the energies are being emanated to our own energies, and we have to handle the water energy in us. And the best way to remain calm and patient is actually drinking a lot of water. You must have a lot of water. And if all of you listeners there, I normally in the morning, there is a turmeric powder that I take, put it in a little bit of hot water, and I sip it like tea. So if you can actually put a little bit of turmeric in your hot water morning and evening, you will realize that it is doing a lot of benefit to the energies of your own body and your cells. And then we have another one. Somebody's asked, where's the moon? Come on, the moon is in the sky. And another question is, does the moon hate me? No, definitely not. The moon does not hate anybody. It just gives us warnings and pre warnings and just tells us how to handle our emotions. Because our EQ is much more important than our IQ. If you can handle your emotions, things would be brilliant for you. Uh, Somebody's again asked, hey, how can you help me? I can't find the moon. Now, here I am talking about something which is very tangible. I'm talking about the new moon that is happening in the sky. I'm not talking about the astrological charts. I'm talking about the moon that's in the sky and the new moon that is happening from April 22nd to May 22nd, once the new moon comes again. I've just spoken that these are the energies that are going to affect us, how we need to keep our calm and our patience. Okay. Somebody has been humorous, which I am so happy. They said, I checked my entire room, but I couldn't find my moon. Now, which moon are you talking about? I will guess, leave it up to you. Yes, I have been very spontaneous at this particular moment. I just got on live without intimating any one of you all. I won't even say that I apologize for it, because this was something that I couldn't do, but I had to do. And I realized that the new moon has also said that there are certain things we want to do, and I do want to let you all know well in advance. But some things develop so fast that I need to take spontaneous decisions. And trust me, if you also take spontaneous decisions, be calm, be patient, think about yourself, take yourself as a different person, that you are talking to your soul. How are you going to handle yourself? What is the advice that you'll be giving your soul? So do your things wherever you are, keep yourselves occupied, be happy, stay safe. 1 month more after May 22nd, things will start receding, but this is the peak. So take care. God bless you. Love your loads. And definitely, after 5 minutes, I'm going to be talking about the planet Pluto's retrograde also. And the knowledge of this new moon and the Pluto retrograde, which is happening on April 25th, is going to do you all a world of good. Thank you for listening me out. And God bless you all loads. Oh, one more question. I just said, what somebody's asked, what about ginger? Yes, you can put turmeric, you can put ginger, you can put a little bit of basil leaves, you can put mint leaves. All these things actually do a lot of good to your system. So you can be add all these things, and you can be innovative. God bless you all. Catch up with you in another 5 minutes.